Hello, welcome to my workshop. Right, today we are doing a unboxing and review of a Parkside Inverter Welder PTMI 180A1. Promises to do TIG welding. Now, not quite completely fresh out in the box because I've been off on the hunt for make sure I could connect it to a gas bottle and I've done that. So let's start by, you get a manual, not desperately informative, but it's there. And we get the welder, so let's pull the welder out. And then you get a box of bits. Let's just lose that box over there out the way somewhere. And unwrap this welder. Now, first thing you will notice about the welder, hold on, I'm going to have to go and get a blade to open that. That's going to be a pain. First thing you'll notice is it has one of those. That's awkward. Right, don't have a 16 amp supply in here, so before I bought that, I bought one of these. Now, the manual says the maximum output current, or maximum input current, is 13 and 0.7 of a amp, so I think I can get away with that. That's a bit of a naff lead. But then you just put that in there. Push it home, and that's that taken care of. Right, let's get the bag off. First thing you'll notice is they have gone for a sleek kind of look. It's quite a nice looking welder, I suppose. A plus and minus marked on the front. You have a turning knob. That is also a button. So that gets you your adjustment and switching modes. Just going to drop that cable out of the way somewhere. Slide this over here and we can get to here. Slag hammer. You have there the earthing lead. Pull that out and separate that from the electrode lead. These have look quite good. They smell of very fresh plastic. That looks reasonable to me. You can see in there what that looks like. A standard block there, and that also looks reasonable. And then we have TIG Torch, and the TIG Torch comes out to an end that looks like that. You can't have the gas bottle too far away from the welder. Something I don't have right now, but I'm going to have to do, is build myself a little welding trolley. And the first thing that you will will need for the TIG is you're going to need a argon bottle. Right, we'll come back to that in a minute. So here is your torch. That is just a standard straightforward valve. No buttons on this. It runs on lift TIG. That's a bit not very nice. Presumably. So just pull out. Oh, okay. Out comes the whole electrode. That right, so that's what that bit looks like. That pushes down, presumably. It's not quite threaded, or is it? Oh, there's threading right up the top there, so that's what. Right, so we go. Right, and there is the electrode. We'll come to doing the electrode in a minute. That's a collet there. That screws in, goes in there. So let's go put that together. Right. I'm going to do first. Actually, let's get the electrode out and sharpen it. I'll show you how to sharpen it. Right. Okay, and then you get another inner and two different cups, a 6, that's a 4, and this one is a 5. Okay, now I'm not going to pretend to be an expert at that, but what we are going to do also, when you get yourself a bottle, you need a regulator, and it needs to be an argon regulator. I happen to have acquired a regulator. There is my regulator. That box out of the way for the moment. Now, a standard single stage argon regulator. That goes in your argon bottle. These are specific to bottles, so you can either get one, your argon bottle regulator is different to a CO2 regulator in terms of the connection. Okay, now the first thing that you'll notice is that your average argon regulator comes out to a 3/8 BSP, and that is a 1/4 BSP. And so I went hunting and I found myself, I went to BOC in the end and bought a adapter. I'll put a link to the BOC adapter, but its description at BOC from a piece of paper is it is a hose adapter straight right hand or RH space 3/8F-1/4M. I'll put that in the description, and it's there, part number 6355. That's BOC, British Oxygen Company. Now that's on there. That will go on there. Now these just need nipping up. They don't need a. You don't need to be Hercules to do these up. These are taper seats and rounded there. They will mate and they will seal. Right. So the reason for getting this is to be able to do TIG. Let's do some TIG. Let me get set up Quick thing, that has been cut with a hacksaw, it's been fiddled with, and then it's been turned in a lathe, and it's had oil and muck on it. And before you weld stuff like this, you want to clean it, particularly before you TIG stuff like that, you want to clean it with a bit of spirit. So I'm going to clean up all the metal samples I've got with some meths, and then we're going to get set up. Actually, I'll tell you what, first let's go sort this electrode out. Right, so you need a sharp electrode, something like that. Okay, let me show you how you go about doing that. We'll put that out of the way for the minute, and we will grab the bench grinder. Now when you buy electrodes, they will come in about 15cm lengths. And what you want to do, or what you might want to find helps you, is to cut them in half so you can have lots of sharp ones, because you're inevitably going to go and dip your tungsten. When you do, it'll be contaminated and you won't be able to, it won't do a decent weld until you've cleaned it. Now, where did I put my safety glasses? There we go. Right. Okay, so I'll show you that. Now, what you want to be doing is grinding like that. What you don't want to be doing is grinding like that, because you don't want spirally or round and round, because that gets your arc, doesn't produce a good arc. You want the lines going down. So let's just... Right, let me get this out of the way, and I'm going to go and get out the clean up the metal, and we'll do a little bit of TIG welding, and then we'll do a little bit of arc at the end. And we're back. Right, now that one didn't work, so I've had to get another one. Fortunately, it was a kind of no quibble situation. I have my receipt, I still have a receipt, so I just took it into Lidl and said, "It's no worky." They said, "Well, if there's another one there, go and get it." I did. It's actually packaged slightly differently. That is on the top. Previously it was stuffed down the side, so that's interesting. Right, I've already read that. What I'm going to do is get it all out and sharpen the tip, and I'll be back to you in a sec. Right, quick thing, when you're tightening these up, by the way, what you should be doing, put that on and then just run it up finger tight. When you've got it finger tight, you then just want to nip it up. In this case that's a 16mm, just a nip. And that should do you. Turn the gas on. Gas is on. Turn it on all the way. Now I've already set this to a flow rate of, let me see now, litres per minute. Wants to be between 5 and 10. And what you want to do is to regulator, if you wind it all the way out, that's off. So you want to wind it clockwise to get some gas. And we are going for, that'll do, about 7.5. Okay, so we're going to turn the gas on and off with that. Second thing is we're going to start off with a bit of TIG welding. That's stainless, that's actually steel. What I'm going to start with, because I'm going to do a little bit of welding on the steel first. Okay, so let's just turn the welder on. And there you see the lights come on. 10 amps at the moment. What we're going to do is go to the menu. Electrode, no. Hot start, we'll ignore that. Force up. Anti-stick on. VRD on. Wood lift TIG. Turn that until it goes to on. On. Select. Now we're going to put this up. That is about 3 mils, so we want about 125 amps. Right, gloves. And what I've done is I've got an impromptu welding table here. Can have a little bit of a practice. Now I haven't done TIG before, I have done gas welding. And you really shouldn't have uncovered skin because the UV is very bad for you, but it's quite hot in here and I don't fancy right, so the lifting process is quite straightforward. There. Lifting is quite straightforward. You plonk your electrode on the deck, plonk it on, pull it off, and you should get a light. Right. That's a bit long, but I can't be bothered to cut it. I'm just going to go and do a bit here. That's quite nice. I messed up my tip. And I'm going to need some practice feeding this rod. Well, you can see it's penetrated right the way through that. You can see it's a very neat weld on that side as well. I like that. I'm enjoying this. Right, let's try a bit of stainless. This is why you would bother with that. Now this is a lot thinner, so we are going to go down in current. I reckon it is. That's about 40 amps worth. I'm also going to just put this up slightly darkening because that's not quite dark enough. Right. There's some stainless steel rod. There it is. Oh. That's not one. Right. Right, I'm going to do the shrinkage there. I'll just go and squeeze that back together. Right. I have distorted it like a banana, but it did penetrate through. So I think with a bit of practice I could do that. Now what I'm going to do now, I'll put that rod in my hand. This is a bit thicker. And just to make it doable, I have something to help me get it together. Right. Now I've prepped these by chamfering that slightly. There we go. You can now tack those. You know what I failed to do? Turn that up. Right. Oops. Right, let me just go and regrind that tip. I shall be back in a minute. And I've managed to make a Horlicks of that as well. I'm going to break that and start again. Right, by the power of brute force and ignorance, I've managed to fix that problem. Gloves on. Let's try welding. Now this is the first time I've done TIG welding. Going to need quite a lot of practice, but I'm enjoying this. Right, where did I put that rod? There it is. Right. Useful to know, it remembers the settings that you last left it on. That is very handy. Something I keep forgetting to do is to leave the gas pointed at the weld to cool it off. Again, I've done it again. TIG welding gloves are traditionally quite thin, so don't pick things up with them. Not sure if you can see that, but that is actually penetrated right the way through. Right. So I think we've demonstrated that bit of it. What I'm going to do now, one of the reasons for getting a TIG is that you can weld very low current. I think I've demonstrated it does stain us quite nicely. So what we're just going to do, this is some steel. You'll see that I try my best there to arc weld that with lots of blowholes. And put that on there. Put this hold on. Okay, and what we're going to do is turn this right down. We are after about, I reckon 20 amps. We're going to try. We're going to run a little tack first. Right, that steel is probably very dirty, and all the actually the tip is. Right, back in a sec, sharpen the tip, shan't be long. Right, tip done. Oh, well, yeah, no, you don't want to lift on that. That's the tip off. Didn't turn the gas on. Well, that's the first time I've welded thin steel like that with a TIG. That's the back side, that's okay. I did put a couple of holes in the front side, but that could work. Right, now last test on TIG. I'm going to have to change the welding rod, and we are going to go try something properly thick. Not the welding rod, the that gubbins. Right, give me a sec. Right, can't find the right nozzle for the 2mm. Seem to have gone walkabouts. What I'm going to do instead, wasn't a fuse. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go and use a very low current to try and just flow this corner together. Let's have a go with that. And just change that tip. Haven't quite played it all together, but I tell you what, that's got promise, that does. Right, okay, so we're now going to turn the gas off. And I'm going to go and get a change to arc welding. Put on some bigger gloves. And I'm going to go and burn a 4mm rod. I shall be back in a sec. Right, we're back. So, what we've got, turn that on. Take off. Right, electrode. 160. Bang. Right. Well, there's no problem burning your 4mm electrodes. They burn that nice and hot. At 160 amps, the cheap Chinese one had trouble with that. Right, those on. And let's knock this slag off. Get an idea of how much it's penetrated there. I could have been quite a lot slower, but it's laid down a very nice weld there. And clearly I was being a bit of a date there, but that's that is a very nice, neat, lovely looking weld there. And you can see it's dumping the heat in there. That's glued that up nicely. Right. So, figured it out. So, You turn it on, rather you turn it off first. Wait for it to... Okay, when you turn it on, if the electrode is set to anything, then that's it. You're kind of stuck in that menu. If you want to do anything else, set it to 0, and then you can toggle through all the settings. Anti-stick on, not sure what VIB is, I'll look that up. Lift TIG off, so that's where you want to go. So it all starts from setting your electrode size to 0, then it works and you can flick through the menu. If on the other hand you have an electrode size, then it's set and it's done. So there we go. I'm not going mad, figured out how to do that. That is the Parkside, what was the name of it again? PTMI 180A1 welder. It TIGs and it does arc, and it does, I presume obviously it burns through all the sizes, but it just roasted that 4mm without a problem. On 160 amps, just did it perfectly. The weld on this side that I'm hiding from you now, that's operator error. That's all down to the welder being really quite good. So thank you for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Something else, by the way, there is another welder, the Raw, do 170 amp DC TIG welder. It's actually got a nicer torch, and it's the gas goes through. It's got a solenoid in the unit, so it's quite a lot nicer. That's 160 quid rather than 150. But we're not reviewing that one. That is good. So anyway, don't forget to like, folks. Cheers. Bye.